Clarity of vision. Thank you for spending time with us this evening and a little bit about your presenters, and then we'll go into a little housekeeping and then we'll talk about the agenda for the evening. Clarity of vision tonight is presented by myself, Helene McCallan. My background is I am a Toastmaster of 17 years. I am a distinguished Toastmaster, also a John Maxwell trained speaker and trainer. Have presented at many large corporations on skill sets exactly as this, and you'll hear about more to come in the future as we wrap when we wrap up this evening. And I have the honor of presenting with Stephen. Turn it over to you for your
Oh,
introduction.
I'm Stephen McConnell, the CEO and founder of Growth Mindset Initiative. I'm president of our Toastmasters Club, and I'm have been in the past a large team leader.
Excellent. Thank you, Stephen. It's an honor to be here this evening. We are this evening, as far as material, we're going to go deep. We're going to dig in. So, mentally prepare. We're going to have you involved. We're going to have you doing activities that you can apply this as we go. This is not just to sit back and listen. You don't just have talking heads and a PowerPoint. This is, we want you to involve. So, if you don't have a pen and a piece of paper in front of you, or a way to document your thoughts as you go when we're doing the exercises, you'll want to get that prepared. The other thing that you'll want to do as far as housekeeping is take this time for you. This is an investment in you. So if there is a way and you have any distractions around you, try to turn those off like or if you're in a room and you can shut the door and have this time to yourself, it's going to be worth it. Trust me. So the material that we're going through this evening, again, we're going in, we're going deep, and it's going to pay huge rewards and dividends. What we're talking about this evening, clarity of vision, and we're going to go through in three segments. We're going to talk about first, raising awareness. What is it? What does it mean to you? And then we're going to talk about alignment. How do we get things around it as a support structure? And then we'll take action. We're going to talk about the having intentionality around putting it into practice, clarity of vision. So, getting started, let's talk about just raising awareness. Let's begin with, have you ever had that day where you come home and it's draining? It's been a draining day. You climb into bed and you just feel like, ugh, what did I even do today? And your brain just feels like mush. And it's not even that things could have gone bad. It's what are you doing through the day that's causing you just to feel drained, right? Have you ever had those days you just feel drained? Let's flip it on its head. Do you have those days where you're just energized and you go through the day and you're maybe even more active than those days that you're tired, but you have adrenaline just running and you're doing the things that you love and you're enjoying every moment. And even at the end of the day, it's hard to wind down because you are driven, you are pulled toward that thing that you love. That's what we're going to dive into. That has something to do with your clarity of vision. What is in your core? What is your nucleus? Let's hone in on that. And we're going to look at focusing on it. And when you focus on it, you feel it. You're connecting with that thing, that action, that thought, that maybe it's a trait. Maybe it's an activity, but you're connecting emotionally with it. You feel it. And when you own it, you make it personal. That's yours. You're walking away with it. And when you clarify it, kind of what we're doing here this evening is we're going to get it clarified. We're going to get it into focus so that it brings it to life. It's clearly defined for you. Each person's is different as far as the clarity of vision and understanding the why. Anchor it in your purpose. What is your why? And then see it daily. Action, take action on it, but you see it daily. So it's focusing on that internal, what is driving you. Brief example, and then I'm going to turn it over to Stephen to share a story as an example, and we'll do an exercise. But for myself, what I have found is on a clarity of vision on through experiences and self-reflection, just like we're doing here this evening, I know that I love to collaborate with others. I love to help and support others. I love to be involved with people. I am an extrovert. I had to get to that first step of the 12-step program and I did it. I am an extrovert. And once I came to that realization, I was able to easily articulate that. And that includes in my professional and personal life. And it has benefited me greatly just to have that clarity and focus. Stephen, I'm going to turn it over to you.
So my hands were shaking. My breath was short, and this was my very first time presenting leadership class. Everything went perfect except for me. I was reading out loud and I was reading my script, and my script was up past my eyebrows, and I was shaking through the whole entire 60 eternal minutes. And I finally was done. I was thinking to myself, never again will I ever do this. And I was relieved as I looked out across the managers, and I said very nervously, any questions? And as I looked across all of the eyes staring at me, there was a glimpse of a spark in the manager's eyes, the one manager's eyes in the back corner, right corner of the conference table. And as I made eye contact with him, he spoke up. I've never thought that I was my own limiting part of leadership. And I realized in that moment that that 1 second that he spoke up, that spark in his eyes was just a mini transformation into his leadership. And I helped with that mini transformation into his leadership. That moment of realizing that I was able to help him, empower him to be just a little bit better leader, really was a stumbled upon truth to who I am and what energizes me. Something that now completely empowers me and drives me forward was just that one moment of truth. In the exercise that we're getting ready to do, prepare for, have a pen and paper ready. And in this example of the story that I'd given you, remember that sometimes stress brings out just glimpses, visions of something that could be really meaningful to you. Think about it for just a second. How many times has it happened? These little glimpses of vision could be passion filled, fulfilling parts of your life. So, what I'm asking you to do here in this exercise is to begin to list some of these moments of your life. And we want to start with a good framework. So, as we start with a good framework, let's just close our eyes for a second, pen and paper right next to you, ready. Take a deep breath, and then let go of any and all responsibilities. Let go of all expectations, every single one of them. Just let go. And now that you're relaxing and pulling in and letting go, I want you just to think while your eyes are closed, if there was nothing demanded from you, everything could be possible. This is the framework that I want to start you with. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 45 seconds. And in this framework, list all of the times that you've uncovered through this sometimes stressful situation, those passion filled visions. Just a word or two words, or maybe a quick sentence, real quick, but list as many as possible. Make a word cloud if you have to. And I'll go ahead and start and pause. Excuse me, I'll go ahead and pause for 45 seconds and let you think about that. Starting now. You have 15 seconds left. 5 seconds left, and you're doing great. And that's time. Just for a minute there, now just look at this word cloud or list, and whichever one of those feels the most empowering, filled one that just jumps off the paper at you. Circle that one. We'll come back to that one later. Aline?
Thank you, Stephen. Okay, that was an interesting exercise, and we were digging deep and we were looking more internal. We were focusing, we were feeling it, we were owning it, we had clarity, we were understanding the why, seeing it. Now we're going to do, what is the support structure around that? What is our GPS? What is the compass setting for clarity of vision? And when we talk about the compass, the navigation compass, the navigating compass, how do we hold that compass? We have the holding it provides the support, the structure behind it. And it's more, again, it's the external that's bringing the vision, your clarity of vision, it's bringing it to life. When we talk about the compass, for example, we have just kind of a symbol, using a little symbolism here around the compass. You can see the North Star. We all have heard that term, I'm assuming. North Star. So north is the long-term vision. That's where we're headed. The south is the non-negotiables. It's the values. It's the things that we hold that are solid. We look west, that's our growth, and we look east, that's our behaviors. If we pull that for putting it and we're holding it, when we talk about holding it, we're talking about H. What are the habits that align with that clarity of vision? What are the habits that bring it in, again, bring it to life? Let's talk about the objectives. What are the objectives that reinforce that long-term vision? These are more your goals. These are more of where you're taking those steps forward. The language that you speak, does it support your personal vision, your purpose? That's both conversations that you have with others, as well as self-talk. How many times are we so harsh on ourselves? So language, having the language that supports that vision. disciplines that ground your energy, having the disciplines around it's the discipline of the choices that you make, discipline of the direction that you take. This all is again supporting that clarity of vision and the systems that automate your environment. Again, this is all part of that support structure. And taking and putting into practice, putting into place, once you have that clarity of vision, externally do the work to prepare to set yourself up for success in moving toward that purpose. And you can do that through holding that navigation compass in the direction that it's going to point you to your purpose and your vision. And to take this even a little further, Stephen's going to share a little bit with us. So, Stephen?
Right about in the same time as that really nerve-wracking first leadership class, I was going through a lot of thought adjustments, a lot of these negative thoughts and issues. And it was as if I was trapped in a cell. These thoughts seemed like solid iron bars in a prison cell. I s One leader saw that I was struggling, and she took it upon herself. She started to spend time with me, listen to what I had to say, and she heard me. She began to believe in me. That prison cell started to just disappear. And over time, I learned a lot about myself in this time period. And in this example, in this exercise, well, in this example, the powerful skill that I'd learned the most was also the same thing that put me in those prison bars. Self reflection was, at that point in time, my enemy. Move forwards, I'd learned through this leader that it was a strength, a very powerful strength, and a skill that I use today. So coming from this prison, now utilizing the very same skill that I was so excellent at for good, for the better part of it. So what I'd like to do is I'd begin to bring this exercise with the purpose of finding some of those same skills within your life. Ask yourself, what three skills, strengths, or habits pull that will pull you closer and empower you towards that one circled vision that you have? And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and give you 45 seconds and you'll just list more than three, and then you could choose three. So starting from now, I'll give you 45 seconds. And as you're thinking about it, also remember, in my example, it was a bad habit that was really restricting me. Some bad habits you can flip over and really empower your life. So think about that. 15 seconds to go. 5 seconds and time. These three things, these three action items, or not these action items, these three skills can support daily your alignment with that one vision that you circled. Lean?
Thank you, Stephen. And we've talked about awareness. That was the internal focus. We talked about alignment. That was more of the external supporting structure with our compass, our navigation compass. Now let's talk about action, being intentional. with moving towards that vision, that clarity of purpose that we now are exploring through what you have written down in front of you from your exercises that you circled and the support that you have from this last exercise that we just did, those skills and habits, and aligning your path with your purpose. The one thing that I do want to be sure to point out here, what we have talked about and focused on is I'm going to call the positive side of each of these practices, each of these steps in raising awareness. When we talked about awareness, we talked about that day that you're energized and what are those things that drive you. There's also that day that we mentioned that was draining and exhausting and can't even really describe it. You'll want to, as homework, take the time to explore what is it that is coming at you or that you're doing, you're thinking or feeling. What is it that is in your focus that's draining you? And you'll want a list of those. That again is helping to build that clarity of your vision. That those are the things that you'll want to shave. And in addition, that's the awareness. When we talk about alignment, similar exercise, similar approach. We have the positive side that we talked about, those things that are the habits and the objectives and the language that are all going to support your clarity of vision. There are habits and language. We mentioned some of the negative self talk is a good example. Those are the things that you want to also make a list of that you would shave or set to the side or try to do away with, minimize over time as much as you can. That then truly brings into focus the clarity of your vision. So being intentional. Let's dig a little bit deeper on this. I'm going to turn it over to Stephen to share with us.
Thank you. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit, but I'm also going to remind you of the stories, my personal stories that I had showed, the uncovering of this empowering vision that's now, it was just a small vision at the time, is now so empowering for me. That prison cell of those negative frameworks and mindsets just fading away more and more each and every day as I practice. I found myself all of a sudden with all of this energy. And it wasn't as if I was drinking too much coffee, it was just a high emotional energy. And I became busier and busier and busier every single day, just doing a whole bunch of stuff. With this energy, I ended up doing a whole lot and realized at one point, self reflection, I was wasting my time. I was wasting my time on everything. When you're focused on everything, you actually end up focusing on nothing. So, as I was heading towards this burnout, I began to realize it. I knew I had to do something. I had no clue what to do. No clue. This is all new to me. I found a mentor, and the mentor started to guide me. The mentor gave me more awareness to the awareness that I had already created. She also began to align my skills with my awareness. And then she recognized the daily actions that became so very supportive of all of it. In this exercise, that is exactly what we're going to do is we're going to bring it all together, pull it together, and start to work on aligning everything together. So the very first part of this, I'm going to give you 20 seconds and we'll work on 30 words or less, a quick phrase that one single phrase that will passionately focus you towards that one vision that you circled tonight. For me, my phrase became, I want to solve world poverty. Very simple, very straightforward. It was very painful for me to even say it at times, but it became, I want to solve world poverty. So we'll go ahead and start the clock and do 20 seconds. And 5 seconds to go. And stop. These are just frameworks. If there's not enough time, you know, start write down some ideas real quick, get the general gist of what you want to do, and then come back to it and spend a good amount of time to it. It's worth it. Trust me. The second part of this exercise is to to write single passionate phrases that pulls you to take action now, and take action towards this one single vision. For me, that was to raise up and empower people. Raise up and empower people goes hand in hand and supports strongly the large legacy vision, the North Star for me, which is solve world poverty. However, it's something that I can do every single day. Every single day, I can look to find and raise up and empower somebody. So I'm going to go ahead and give 20 seconds more and just jot down these ideas that you have, beginning now. Ten seconds to go. And time. Now, remember, these are beginning the framework of just aligning everything that you've done tonight. But also recognize that you've done a lot. You've sat here and invested time. And as you have invested this time, you have came up with a vision statement that aligns with you and a mission statement. We just did vision statement and a mission statement. And also you created several actions for a daily action plan. This is something very powerful that most people just don't do. Yet it's so impactful upon a life. Lane?
Thank you, Stephen. In review, what we've talked about this evening, we focused, we talked about clarity of vision, and we broke it into three kind of steps. Awareness being that internal work that we're doing, and it's the focus on your nucleus. We talked about alignment. That was more of the external with the it holds your navigating compass. And then we talked about action, taking the steps toward being intentional. And we have on here intentionality on your orbits. That is everything that is surrounding. Again, it's part of that support structure of the clarity in your vision.
Out of
I'm
the
going to turn it over
soil.
to,
Oh, sorry, go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. I was going to turn it over to you, Stephen. It's all you.
Out of the soil, Growth Mindset Initiative was born is the painful beginning of me going through all of these different, now I understand them, personal mastery steps. Started with the painful teaching of leadership. Well, it started a little bit before that, but that was really a start with that spark in somebody's eye. That spark that started the vision. Mentorship, practice, focus. Growth Mindset Initiative was built with you in mind to guide you. Through personal mastery, you have through personal mastery so that you could put the time in and grow and empower your life. Tonight, you've put in a lot of hard work. You've gone through awareness and started that spark for yourself, that vision. That vision's going to start to really empower you and pull you to take action. Alignment of those daily strengths that we were talking about, those skills that sometimes can be so disempowering that you don't even see it as a strength, but you do it so well that if you saw the other side of it, it really would kickstart that spark and that vision, and it would support your growth. Then you have an action list. And this action list is so important because now every single day, it is your choice whether you support your vision and grow. So, how can we take the next step together? Remember, Growth Mindset Initiative is here to empower you. Long-term vision is to solve poverty. Through purposeful actions, you lead to meaningful outcomes. Lean?
Thank you, Stephen. And along those lines of taking action, grab your pen. Let's share. We want to share with you what we have coming up next. And absolutely, we would love to have you there. We have our next webinar on Tuesday, October 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's Unlock Your Innovator's Mind. This is one that you will not want to miss. It has everything to do with unlocking that creative thinking. How do you tap into that? What are ways to go about even tapping into that? So, as you're building your action plan and you're looking for new ideas, they're within you, and we're going to unlock it in the next webinar. Make sure you visit the website. We're going to be opening the registration on there soon. And from there, we want to thank you once again for your spending time with us this evening and taking this journey. We know that you're going to be excited as you begin to internalize that clarity of vision. You've got the awareness and the alignment, and we look forward to hearing of your successes and the actions. So thank you once again for your time.
We also have a book that we're writing right now, Seven Laws to Personal Mastery. And you can go to the website that's listed right here, sign up if you're interested, or it sounds interesting to you. And there's going to be a lot of also free resources coming to the website. So keep checking at it, maybe sign up to the emails, and keep in touch.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Stephen. Okay, with that, have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, thank you all very much.